Hi everyone, it's Kelly here. Welcome to my channel if this is your first time visiting. Welcome back if you've been before. Lovely to have you either way. On this channel we talk books, and today I am recording a big old book haul as we do here on this channel. Lots and lots of books to show you today, so we're going to dive right in, and I'm going to start with books that I have purchased brand new, moving into books that I've purchased secondhand. And at this point the secondhand pile is slightly bigger than the new pile, but which is unusual because normally the secondhand pile is much bigger, but they're roughly equal this month. It is what it is, I guess. Alright, I'm going to be listing all of the books that I mention in this video down in the description, so if you miss anything or didn't quite hear what I said when I gave you the author's name, or if I forgot to say anything, all of that information will be down below in the description. Alright, let's get straight into the book haul. Beginning, as I said, with the books that I have purchased brand new, and starting as I often do in every second month, because that's when the subscription comes, with the books that I get from Amplify Bookstore. Can you see? No, you can't see. I don't know why I'm holding that up to you. You can't see that. It's too small. It came with a lovely bookmark. But Amplify Bookstore have some book subscription packs that you can purchase. The one that I get comes every second month, and I get 2 books in that package. The first one that I got this month is called The Human Origins of Beatrice Porter and Other Essential Ghosts by Soraya Palmer. This one, what is it about? Growing up in Brooklyn with their Caribbean parents, Zora and Sasha Porter's days were enchanted by stories from the islands. The mischievous spider Anansi, both seductive and vengeful. The flame-breathing rolling calf who haunts butchers, and ocean-dwelling Mama Glow? I'm not saying that right, I'm sure. Said to be half snake, half human. Now they are teenagers and life at home has become unbearable. Their parents' tempestuous relationship has fallen apart, their mother Beatrice desperately ill, their father Nigel living with another woman. While an unsettled Zora escapes into her journal, dreaming of being a writer, Sasha discovers sex and chest binding, spending more of her time with her new girlfriend than at home. But they can't hide forever. The Anansi stories that captivated them as children begin to creep into the present, revealing truths about the Porter family's past they must all face up to. So that sounds really fascinating. The other book that I got from Amplify Bookstore this month was In Limbo by Deb JJ Lee. This is a graphic novel, and I am looking forward to reading this one. It also says it's a debut. So it says, ever since Deborah Lee's family emigrated from South Korea to the United States, she's felt her otherness. For a while, her English wasn't perfect. Her teachers can't pronounce her Korean name. Her face and her eyes, especially her eyes, feel wrong. In high school, everything gets harder. Friendships change and end. She falls behind in classes, and fights with her mum escalate. Caught in limbo with nowhere safe to go, Deb finds her mental health plummeting, resulting in a suicide attempt. But Deb is resilient and slowly heals with the help of art and self-care, guiding her to a deeper understanding of her heritage and herself. So those are the 2 books that I got from Amplify Bookstore in my subscription package. I will pop the details of the subscription package down below and a link to where you can find it if you're interested. They specialize in diverse books and from diverse authors, so it's a great way to support diversity in your reading, and also a small business as well. Okay, next I'm going to move on to 2 books that I purchased based on recommendations from booktubers. The first one was recommended by, and I apologize because I'm going to butcher the name of this channel because I do not speak French, I'm so sorry, Café Au Livre. I've said that 100% wrong, I'm sure. I apologize. But he recommended A Month in the Country by J.L. Carr, which is a classic, and I will pop a link up in the cards to the video where he recommended this book, so you can hear his reasons as for why. Yeah, I didn't realize this was so tiny. This will be a very quick read when I eventually get around to it. So hopefully we'll get to it soon. We'll see how we do. The next book that I got that I purchased based on recommendation was a recommendation from Jack Edwards, who we all know and love, and that was Oxygen Mask by Jason Reynolds. Again, I will link in the cards to the video if I can find it. Hopefully I can find it, to where Jack was recommending it. I think it was his mid-year freak out tag video. The link will be up the top. Go watch his video because he's read it. I haven't read it, so you can see what this is all about. But essentially, he showed a little bit of it inside, but it's a graphic novel, sort of very arty, and I'm very much looking forward to getting to this one at some point soon. Okay, now on to the brand new books that I purchased, either just from, I'm just looking at the stack here. I've got one that I pre-ordered. I got a couple from a visit to a Dymocks bookstore here in Australia that were on sale. They were in their sort of like sale area, so they were heavily reduced. And then a couple that I just ordered online. So perhaps I should reorganize this a tiny bit. Let's go to the ones I just ordered online. So the first one is one that actually probably came quite recently, maybe a day or two ago, called The Sitter by Angela O'Keeffe. Paris 2020. A writer is confined to her hotel room during the early days of the pandemic, struggling to finish a novel about Hortense Cézanne, wife and sometime muse of the famous painter. Dead for more than a century, Hortense has been reawakened by this creative endeavour and now shadows the writer through the lockdown city. But Hortense, always subject to the gaze of others, is increasingly intrigued by the woman before her. Who is she, and what event hides in her past? Heartbreaking and perfectly formed, The Sitter explores the tension between artist and subject, and between the stories told about us and the stories we choose to tell. So it sounds like a book that's right up my alley, so I've purchased it. It's actually not too long. Let me just check the page count. 169, so that's not too long at all. So it could be a quick read. I hope so, because we all love a quick read. Makes you feel like you're winning. All right, another one that I've purchased recently is Drifts by Natasha Burge. Recently, I spoke about this when I did a Try a Chapter video. It was a book that I had borrowed from the library, and this was one that I had decided that I would need to be in the right frame of mind to read, but I definitely did want to go ahead and read. So I figured it was probably better just to get my own copy rather than hold on to the library copy, because who knows when I'm going to be in that headspace. I want to have it accessible when I am. So here it is. It has arrived. I will be returning the book, the copy to the library that I borrowed, and this one is for me. So I will link up in the cards to that video. Thanks. See you later. I will link up in the cards to that video so that you can see me trying a chapter from this book and talking a little bit more about it. Another one that I purchased online this month was Agatha of Little Neon by Claire Luchette. This one is about a character called Agatha who has lived every day of the last 9 years with her sisters. They work together, laugh together, pray together. The four of them are devoted to Mother Roberta and to their quiet, purposeful life. But when the parish goes broke, the sisters are forced to move. They land in Woonsocket, a former mill town now dotted with wind turbines, and they take over the care of a halfway house where they live alongside their charges. Agatha is sent to teach at a local high school. Out in the world on her own, she is forced to finally reckon with her past and what she might want for her future. So it sounds really fascinating. This is a book that's been on my TBR for a very, very long time, and I managed to find a copy at a really good price, so that was why I picked this one up. So I will hopefully get to this one soon. It's also a really interesting cover, I think. Okay, then I've got a couple of books that I purchased, as I said, when I went to Dymocks, and these, one of them I purchased at full price, and that was this one. Follow the Rabbit Proof Fence by Nugi Garimara, also known as Doris Pilkington. I already owned a copy of this book, but I like this copy better. The one that I already owned was a movie tie-in edition, and I'm not a big fan of those because I don't like seeing a picture of the movie on the front cover of my book. So this one is part of a series of books, and I'm thinking about purchasing more, but it's a new series put out by University of Queensland Press called First Nations Classics. So these are all Australian Aboriginal authors and possibly Torres Strait Islander authors as well, I'm not sure. And this is the first one that I have purchased, and I'm excited to hopefully purchase more of these and put together my collection, because I think they look amazing, and I'm keen to read more Australian classics and Aboriginal Australian classics as well. So this is the first one. Very exciting. Then I have two that I picked up at a discounted price when I was in that same shop. The first one is The Rabbit Hutch by Tess Gunty. This one was all over BookTube maybe last year or the year before. So this is literally just a purchase based on having, you know, being aware of this book and knowing the title and seeing it there and just going, yep, I'll pay $10 or whatever it was for this book that I think only came out in 2021 or 2022. Let me just have a quick check. 2022. So yeah, this was last year. So looking forward to that one. And another one similar to that is this one that was all over BookTube a while ago called Yinka, Where Is Your Husband? By Lizzie, Damilola, Blackburn. And if memory serves, this one also came out in 2022. Yes, it did. So yeah, those were just quick purchases based on availability at a good price. So the last of the new books that I've got is a non-fiction book that I pre-ordered, and that is Mercury Stardust's book, Safe and Sound, A Renter-Friendly Guide to Home Repair. Mercury Stardust is, of course, on TikTok and the other one, Instagram. And I follow the content there and love it, so decided to support via pre-ordering Mercury Stardust's book, and I'm excited to have it in my collection now. This is basically all about home repair, and it's sort of basic things you can do to look after your house, and sort of goes through exactly how to do that. So very excited to now have that in my collection. All right, can you see those on screen? No, I don't think you can. All right, moving on now to some more non-fiction now, but we're going to move into the second-hand portion of this video. What I should say before I do move on, because we are talking about non-fiction this year as I'm hosting a non-fiction reading challenge, we've been talking about the call number for each of the books, and Mercury Stardust, I couldn't find a listing for it, so I've done it myself, and I've put it at 643.7. So that's where you can pop that one. That would be a 600s one. All right, moving into this one, it is Elton John's biography, Me. The call number for this one is 782.4216692. So I don't think I need to tell you about that or to explain who Elton John is, of course. So I was happy to find this very good condition copy of his biography, his autobiography, I should say, and I'm looking forward to reading this one at some point. And the other non-fiction book that I got is also an autobiography, this time by Miff Warhurst, who is an Australian TV presenter, I guess is probably what you would call her, but she's like a massive music buff. She used to be a radio presenter here on in Triple J, which is like a massive radio station here in Australia that's a government owned one. It's connected to the ABC, which is our kind of national broadcaster. She does she knows everything that you need to know about music. She's on top of it all. Anyway, love her. She's amazing. So I found this secondhand copy of her biography called Time of My Life and was very happy to add it to my collection. All right, we are firmly into the secondhand portion of this video. Let's move on to the fiction section of our secondhand finds from this month. I was able to get 2 of the Paper Girls. I actually don't know how many there are, but I got 1 and 2 of the Paper Girls graphic novels. Recently, these have been made into a TV show. I can't remember where you find that, but I have been aware of this graphic novel for some time, even before the TV show came out, and so I was very excited to find these at a secondhand place that I was having a look at. So yeah, excellent. I love a graphic novel, and I believe these ones are quite good, so I'm excited to have them now in my collection. Another fiction book that I picked up is called Tipping the Velvet by Sarah Waters. This one is a bit of a sapphic classic, so I'm looking forward to getting to this one at some point. Yeah, I've heard good things. So it came out quite some time ago. Let me have a look. 1998, so it's been a while since this one's been out, and I need to rectify the fact that I haven't read it yet. Another one that I picked up is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I've heard mixed things about this one, but I was really intrigued by the premise of it. So let me just read that to you now. It says, "Enter the players. There were 7 of us then, 7 bright young things with wide, precious futures ahead of us. Until that year, we saw no farther than the books in front of our faces. On the day Oliver Marks is released from jail, the man who put him there is waiting at the door. Detective Colborne wants to know the truth, and after 10 years, Oliver is finally ready to tell it. A decade ago, Oliver is one of 7 young Shakespearean actors at Delashare Classical Conservatory, a place of keen ambition and fierce competition. In this secluded world of firelight and leather-bound books, Oliver and his friends play the same roles on stage and off: hero, villain, tyrant, temptress, ingenue, extra. But in their 4th and final year, good-natured rivalries turn ugly, and on opening night, real violence invades the students' world of make-believe. In the morning, the 4th years find themselves facing their very own tragedy, and the greatest acting challenge yet, convincing the police, each other and themselves, that they are innocent." So it just sounded really intriguing. So even though the reviews of this book are quite mixed, I wanted to give it a go. This one was a bit of a random one that I picked up. A journal that has been published here in Australia for a very long time called Meanjin. It's sort of like a literary journal. And this is an anthology of writing from that journal that I picked up, featuring some pieces that were published in the journal, starting from the 1940s all the way through to the 2000s. So I'm just interested in literary fiction, so I thought I would pick this up. It was just a random secondhand find. Then I've got 3 more to show you. We're almost there. This one is called Booth, and it is by Karen Joy Fowler. This is all about 6 brothers and sisters, one terrible act that will shatter their bond forever. That act, of course, being the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. And it basically is just sort of talking about the family and sort of creating a mythology, I suppose, around the characters involved in the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. So yeah, excited to have that one in my collection. I've been eyeing it off for some time. Then, annoyingly, this one, I cannot get this sticker off. It is like properly stuck. So I'm going to have a think about that. If you've got any good tips on getting off a sticker where the glue has kind of like, I don't know, it's old glue. Anyway, this is Wicked by Gregory Maguire, and I don't need to tell you what Wicked is about because obviously we've all heard of the musical. This is the book that it's based on, so excited to now have that one in my collection. And the last one that I picked up secondhand is this one called The Familiars by Stacey Halls. Let me tell you a little bit about this one. In a time of suspicion and accusation, to be a woman is the greatest risk of all. Lancashire, England, 1612. Fleetwood Shuttleworth is 17 years old, married and pregnant for the 4th time. But as mistress of Gawthorpe Hall, she still has no living child, and her husband is anxious for an heir. When Fleetwood reads a letter she isn't supposed to find, she is dealt the crushing blow that she will not survive another pregnancy. By chance, Fleetwood crosses paths with Alice Gray, a young midwife who promises to help her give birth to a healthy baby. But as Alice is drawn into the witchcraft accusations that are sweeping England, Fleetwood risks everything to try and help her. Time is running out and both women's lives are at stake. So it just sounded right up my alley in terms of the kinds of books that I like to read. So very, very excited to have this in my collection. All right, thank you everyone. That is my full book haul for the month of August. I hope that you've seen something here that looked interesting to you. If you've read any of these, please let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinions on these books. If there's anything that you think I should prioritize in my TBR, please let me know. And I will catch you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.